They say the ultimate goal of the rat race is a cushy government job. Well, after I literally dropped dead from pulling an all-nighter working on a business proposal at an internet cafe, I was reborn as a national treasure-level mutated black gold giant python. Honestly, being a cold-blooded animal is actually pretty awesome. No studying, no going to work, people literally wait on me hand and foot just for breathing. I've basically achieved absolute financial freedom, right? In just 3 years, my weight shot straight up to over 7,000 pounds. I became the absolute overlord of the entire Cloud Peak Zoo, with dozens of 20-foot-long danger noodle underlings following my every command. My only gripe is lacking a built-in thermostat. If I could just evolve a warm-blooded body, I could just lie back and enjoy sunbathing all 4 seasons. A life where food is literally dropped right into my mouth is just too damn cozy. But to keep myself from turning into a giant, lazy grub, I do occasionally roll around in the mud pit for a little workout. Mommy, look at that giant earthworm chilling in the mud. It's so dark and ugly. Just then, from a sightseeing cable car in the distance, came a sweet, childish voice. Ugly? Giant earthworm? Have you got no manners, kid? I am a majestic, 3.5-ton amphibious armored tank, and you dare use a word like that to describe me? Feeling deeply offended, I reared up my massive, inverted triangle head, which was bigger than a whole water vat, and glared in the direction of the voice. Poking out over the safety railing of the cable car was the head of a little boy. He looked about 6 or 7 years old, clutching an Iron Man action figure tightly in his tiny hands. His chubby little cheeks were just bursting with curiosity. I flicked my long, dark, forked tongue, and stretched my massive, fang-filled jaws right at the kid, flashing what I thought was a super cheerful smile. Whoa, mommy, look, the giant black snake is moving. He's smiling at me. He's so cool. Instead of being terrified, the kid was actually bouncing up and down with pure excitement. Hearing the commotion, 2 of my underwater lackeys popped their heads out next to me. They seemed awfully curious about the cable car, looking like they wanted to slither over and give it a squeeze. I instantly slammed my tail down, sending up a massive, thunderous splash, and let out a sharp hiss, ordering those clueless idiots to back off. If they accidentally wrecked the cable car, my premium black pork extra meal for tomorrow would go completely down the drain. The cable car slowly drifted closer, and finally came to a stop just outside the 60-foot safety perimeter right in front of me. Giant black python, mighty overlord, the little boy cheered, frantically waving his Iron Man toy. I was in an incredibly good mood. Sluggishly, I slithered my way out of the mud and onto the bank. I stretched out my incredibly thick body, which was basically the size of a heavy-duty truck. The golden sunlight poured over my rock-hard, black and gold scales, reflecting a cold, striking metallic sheen. Oh my god, that python is absolutely massive. It looks exactly like a prehistoric titanoboa. The rest of the tourists on the cable car erupted into gasps. Crowds of people whipped out their phones, snapping photos like crazy. They were freaking out like a bunch of starry-eyed fanboys. Look at the size of that thing. It's gotta weigh at least 7 or 8,000 pounds, right? Man, I bet that Siberian tiger over in the predator zone wouldn't even be enough for a single bite. Hey, who do you guys think would win in a fight? This giant python or the Siberian tiger? A middle-aged guy wearing gold-rimmed glasses suddenly threw out that classic debate. Instantly, an edgy young dude in a loud floral shirt fired back. It'd definitely be the tiger, man. Just look at the speed and claws on the king of the jungle. It's an absolute land-dwelling killing machine. What's a python gonna do? It's just an overgrown danger noodle. You don't know crap. A young woman in a designer dress rolled her eyes and fired right back. A giant python's crushing power is literally unmatched. If it wraps around that overgrown cat's neck, it would choke the absolute life out of it in seconds. Tigers only look tough once they're wrapped up tight. They're basically just dead cats. The young guy wasn't having it. He clapped right back. Are you an idiot? One swipe from a tiger would blind that python. Think it could even get a grip? Besides, tigers have that signature throat bite maneuver. One chomp, and your snake is snapped right in two. You're the idiot. The girl shot back, crossing her arms stubbornly. A giant python's scales are literally knife-proof. And look at it, it's as thick as a massive water pipe. It would absolutely drag that tiger through the mud. Okay, let's calm down, everyone. The tour guide grabbed his megaphone, rushing out to smooth things over. The giant python and the fierce tiger are both star attractions here. They each have their own unique strengths. They're both incredibly powerful. The guy just rolled his eyes. He muttered under his breath, "A giant worm is still just a worm." Trying to mess with the king of the jungle. Seeing that the guide didn't contradict her, the young girl looked incredibly smug. "Look at this python, it looks so dumb and sluggish. How could it ever compare to Hurricane from the Predator Zone? So majestic, strangling my foot. It'd probably just tie itself in a knot." Hearing that, I nearly choked on my own spit. Hurricane? You mean that oversized house cat that literally pees itself when I hiss at it through the fence? And you're telling me I'd get dragged through the mud by that thing? I am the undisputed king of this entire reserve. Against a cat like that, I could take on 10 of them at once. Just as I was furiously ranting in my head, getting ready to flex my massive, rippling muscles again, a terrifyingly weird vibration suddenly shook the ground. Right after that, an intensely chaotic and bone-chilling aura drifted over on the wind from the Predator Zone. Danger, extreme danger. The steel fence up ahead was suddenly ripped apart by some massive force. The peaceful sightseeing zone was shattered by the deafening shriek of security alarms. What's going on? Something's charging right at us. Panic instantly erupted among the tourists in the cable car. Terror of the unknown gripped every single person. Run, back up now. A park patrol vehicle came frantically speeding toward them. The security guards inside were screaming at the top of their lungs, shouting hysterically at the cable car. That tiger from the Predator Zone has mutated. It went completely insane and mauled the keeper to death. It's loose on the main road. After screaming that warning, the patrol car roared past them, speeding straight for the exit. Insane? Mutated? Everyone on the cable car froze in pure shock. What are you so scared of? We're safely up in an aerial sightseeing cable car. We're suspended high in the air. The guy in the floral shirt, the tiger fanboy from earlier, scoffed. It's not like tigers can fly. The worst it'll do is just run past underneath us. Didn't you say your giant snake was invincible? He turned, shooting a smug, challenging look at the young girl. Perfect timing. Why don't you send your dumb python out to fight Hurricane right now? Let's see who the real king of the jungle is. The young girl's face had gone deathly pale. She didn't even have the breath to argue back. Because she was staring at a massive shadow, bursting out of the trees ahead like a bolt of yellow lightning. Boom, a deafening, explosive crash shook everything. Several massive trees were snapped right in half as a terrifyingly huge, mutated tiger burst out of the forest. The size of this tiger was far beyond human comprehension. It was a full 8 meters long, and its shoulder height was even taller than a heavy-duty SUV. And the scariest part? It had grown 2.5-meter-long saber teeth right out of its mouth. Its fur stood straight up like steel needles, and its eyes weren't the normal yellowish-brown. They were a blood red, completely filled with a crazed thirst for slaughter. But what was even more terrifying was that this tiger's body was actually still expanding right before our eyes. What the hell? Is this really Hurricane, that same tiger who only knew how to eat chicken carcasses? This was definitely some kind of genetic mutation. The mutated saber-toothed tiger named Hurricane let out an earth-shattering roar. It didn't even look at me. Instead, it locked its bloodthirsty eyes dead onto that suspended cable car full of tourists. Instantly, screams from the cable car pierced the sky. The guy in the floral shirt, who was just bragging about tigers a moment ago, was so scared his legs gave out. A warm liquid trickled right down his pant leg. The young women were also trembling uncontrollably, frantically trying to hide under their seats. Everyone wanted to escape, but during the initial panic, the cable car operator had pulled the emergency brake. So they were completely stuck in midair. Help, somebody help us. Start the car. Oh my god, it's jumping. Hurricane let out a blood-curdling roar that boomed like a crack of thunder. Its massive body violently launched off the ground, shooting up like a heavy-duty cannonball. It lunged straight for the 5-meter-high cable car. A distance of several meters. Was covered in the blink of an eye. Bang! The giant tiger's claws slammed viciously into the undercarriage of the cable car. The carriage, weighing several tons, was smacked so hard it tilted violently, almost derailing completely. The glass instantly shattered. No. Several people sitting by the window were thrown right out of their seats. The little boy holding the Iron Man toy, named Xuan, because of the sheer force of the impact, slipped right through the gap in the shattered window. Half of his body was left dangling in midair. Xuan, the boy's mother lunged forward like a madwoman, and desperately grabbed her child's hand, but the cable car was still shaking violently. Hurricane's gigantic head was already right at the window, opening its massive, bloodthirsty jaws. That horrifying mouth, big enough to swallow 2 grown adults whole, lunged straight to bite the dangling little boy. It was highly intelligent. It knew exactly where its prey was the most vulnerable. This was an absolute nightmare. But right at this critical, life or death moment, the little boy actually didn't cry. He stared at the terrifying jaws closing in on him. Tears were welling up in his eyes, but suddenly, he took his plastic Iron Man toy and chucked it as hard as he could right at the giant tiger. Big black snake, run away, it's a giant monster. Iron Man is going to beat you up. The toy bounced off the giant tiger's rock-hard nose. It didn't even count as a tickle, but it completely enraged the brutal beast. As for me, I was completely stunned. While humanity was facing such utter despair, this 6-year-old human child didn't even cry out for his mom to save him. He didn't even pass out from fear. Instead, he used his tiny, insignificant toy to try and protect me, the one he called a big black snake. Me, a giant python. An incredibly complex emotion completely washed over my soul. A soul that had lived through 2 lifetimes. It hit my numb, corporate slave heart right where it hurts. In my past life, I was backstabbed by colleagues, bled dry by my bosses, and nobody ever stood up for me. But in this life, I might be a cold-blooded beast, yet there's this little human kid putting his life on the line to protect me. My freezing, slit-like pupils shrank to pinpricks in an instant. An unspeakable, explosive rage erupted from the very depths of my chest. Screw you, you overgrown freak of a cat. If I don't crush your pathetic bones into powder today, my name isn't Lin Fan. A raw, booming roar, a sound that shouldn't belong to a python, tore out of my throat like the furious battle cry of an ancient dragon. My massive coils launched off the ground. All 3.5 tons of me exploded with a terrifying speed that defied my size, ripping through the air like a bolt of black lightning. I smashed straight into that giant tiger just as it lunged for the boy. Boom, dirt and debris blasted everywhere. Just a split second before Gale's saber teeth could pierce the kid. I snapped my bloody jaws wide open and sank my fangs brutally into Gale's thick neck. With a sickening crunch of grinding bones, my fangs plunged deep into its flesh. Gale shrieked in agony, letting out a blood-curdling howl. Forced to abandon its human prey, its massive body thrashed around wildly, swinging its razor-sharp claws right at my head. Look, the giant black snake is fighting it. Oh my god, it's saving the boy. The tourists in the cable car, having barely escaped with their lives, covered their mouths, crying and screaming in shock. Even the guy who had just been mocking me was now bawling his eyes out, staring dead fixed at the ground below. The boy's mother seized the chance to yank him back into the carriage, clutching him tightly and sobbing uncontrollably. But the little boy clung to the shattered window, crying out at the top of his lungs. You can do it, General Black Dragon. Beat the monster. An absolute bloodbath between 2 apex predators had officially begun in the jungle. Gale's raw power was absolutely insane. Its mutated muscles defied all logic, and its claws were like a rack of steel machetes, slashing violently against my scales and sending sparks flying. If I were a normal python, I'd have been gutted on the spot. But I'm a massive beast that has eaten its fill and slept for 3 years, reaching the absolute peak of physical strength. My black and gold scales shrieked under the pressure, but I refused to let go. Instead, I used its momentum to coil my massive body tightly around it, loop after loop. A terrifying crushing force unleashed instantly. I could even hear the sweet sound of its ribs snapping. Gale thrashed wildly, a vicious, bloodthirsty glare flashing in its scarlet eyes. It snapped its massive jaws, desperately trying to tear my body apart. Bam! Its saber teeth drove brutally into my back. A massive jolt of searing pain shot through me. Damn, that hurts like hell. But I knew the rule of a python's deathmatch. Never give your prey a chance to breathe. It had to be a lethal strike. My eyes went blood red as every single muscle in my body clamped down, pushing my crushing force to the absolute limit. And then, I unleashed the ultimate, inescapable killer move of a python. The ultimate death coil. My body clamped down like a hydraulic press, throwing all 3.5 tons of dead weight behind it. And terrifying muscle contraction force, squeezing down insanely tight. Boom, 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 boom. The surrounding trees were completely smashed to splinters by our rolling bodies. Blood instantly stained the ground red. The tourists in the cable car didn't even dare to breathe. Everyone was praying that this giant beast, fighting to save them, would win. After 3 solid minutes of extremely high-intensity death constriction, Gale's incredibly tough torso finally couldn't handle the crushing, tearing pressure. Roar, along with a horribly desperate and agonizing wail, I forcefully crushed Gale's chest cavity until it caved in. Its internal organs ruptured, and its resistance stopped completely. It let go of its bite on me, and its massive body convulsed a few times on the ground. Its one remaining good eye glared at me, full of terror and bitter resentment. And then, it went completely dead silent. I didn't let go. I kept constricting it for another 5 minutes. Only when I was absolutely sure it was completely dead, did I finally start panting heavily. I unwrapped my body from it. The intense pain shooting from my back made me involuntarily flick my tongue. This mutated big cat was so damn hard to deal with. We won. The giant black snake won. Oh my god, it killed the monster. Deafening cheers of survival erupted from the cable car. Everyone was looking through the windows, practically bowing down in worship to me. The little boy, Xuan, even jumped up and yelled, "General Black Dragon is invincible. General is the best." Hearing this totally edgy, cringy title, I couldn't help but roll my eyes. Just a moment ago, I was a giant earthworm. And now I'm suddenly a great general. Humans really flip-flop so fast. I slowly slithered toward the mud pool, dragging my exhausted body to rest on the bank. My wounds needed to stop bleeding, but right at that moment, an emotionless, mechanical voice suddenly rang out in my head. Ding! Detected that the host has completed a heroic act of self-sacrifice. Collected extremely pure power of faith. The infinite devouring evolution system is now officially activated. Would you like to claim your newbie starter pack? My massive body jolted in shock. A system? Those web novels weren't lying to me. I've been reincarnated as a snake for 3 whole years. And my cheat code has finally arrived. I fought back the wild ecstasy in my heart, and roared in my mind, claim it right freaking now. Ding, newbie starter pack has been issued. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 drop of the ancient heaven-swallowing python bloodline. It has been stored in your inventory. Current physique is unable to fuse with it. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 bottle of basic healing potion. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 10 high-tier evolution crystals. Congratulations to the host for obtaining 1 spin on the lucky prize wheel. Listening to the barrage of notifications in my head, I almost squealed like a happy pig, even though I couldn't use that heaven-swallowing python bloodline stuff right now. The healing potion and evolution crystals were a total lifesaver. Use the basic healing potion. As soon as I said that, a soothing, warm current instantly flowed through my entire body. The scratch marks and bite wounds on my back started scabbing over at a visible rate. And peeled off, in less than 10 seconds. I am back to being a fierce, unstoppable jungle bandit. I flicked my tongue in pure comfort. I closed my eyes and brought up the system panel. Host, Lin Fan. Species, mutated black gold python. Tiered mutant. Reputation points. Gratitude, admiration, shock, 1,500 points. Skills, death coil, venom spit, locked. System prompt, the host can collect human emotion points for prize draws, or devour mutated creatures and evolution crystals to gain evolutionary energy. I get it, I just need to flex and show off as much as possible. Stir up more trouble, and farm a ton of approval points. Isn't this just the classic influencer playbook? Man, I know that game inside out. Just as I was soaking in the joy of my new system, the piercing sound of sirens and roaring engines echoed from the distance. The park's armed SWAT team and rescue helicopters finally arrived. Over a dozen large-caliber tranquilizer guns were instantly aimed at me on the ground. Don't shoot, nobody shoot, he is our savior. Seeing this, the tourists on the cable car screamed frantically. That guy in the floral shirt who was so arrogant before even grabbed a fire extinguisher and smashed it outward. Are you blind? Can't you see the giant python is protecting us? Call a vet, hurry up and check if he is hurt. The SWAT captain was completely dumbfounded. The report he received was a bloody battle between a giant python and a mutated tiger. So why is the vibe now? Like this giant snake has become a national hero? Put your guns down. An off-road vehicle with military markings came speeding over and slammed on the brakes by the shore. Out jumped a tall, slender woman wearing a white lab coat. She was a cold, stunning beauty with gold-rimmed glasses, carrying a massive medical kit in her hands. It was none other than my exclusive keeper and the Ecological Zone's senior researcher, Chu Wanchu. Chu Wanchu is a top-tier biology PhD. In order to conduct her wildlife research, she spent millions of bucks out of her own pocket just to upgrade my meals. You could say, a huge chunk of this badass muscle I've got is all thanks to her. Xiao Fan, how are you holding up? Ignoring the SWAT team's attempts to stop her, Chu Wanchu rushed straight over to me. Seeing me covered in blood, her usually cold eyes instantly turned red. Big drops of tears fell pitter-patter down her face. Dr. Chu, it's dangerous. The beast just went through a fierce fight. It might be in a manic state. The SWAT captain yelled nervously, holding up his riot shield. Dangerous my ass. I lazily lifted my big head and rubbed it affectionately against Chu Wanchu's leg, letting out a loud burp while I was at it. He is fine, Chu Wanchu said, wiping away her tears, while quickly examining my body. When she discovered that my wounds had miraculously healed, a flash of extreme shock crossed her eyes. But she was smart. She immediately blocked the area where the wounds were with her body, keeping it hidden from the SWAT team. Xiao Fan is a good boy. He saved those people. Chu Wanchu stood up and told the SWAT captain. Lock down the park immediately. That Siberian tiger named Gale has undergone a deep mutation. Notify the higher-ups in the Special Ops Department. Prepare for a thorough sweep. After giving the orders, the tourists on the cable car were safely evacuated. Before leaving, that little boy named Xuan made sure to wave at me from way over there. Goodbye, General Black Dragon. I'll come back and visit you. I grinned and flicked my tongue in response. Ding, gained 1 die-hard fan. 500 reputation points. Ah yeah, that hits the spot. You playing the hero paid off this well. Later that afternoon, the video of me, a 15-meter giant python, battling a mutated saber-toothed tiger to save a human, absolutely blew up the internet. Across countless short video platforms and trending headlines, my battle scenes were everywhere. Especially that final, meat grinder-style death coil of mine. The internet turned it into a GIF, and it was getting reposted like crazy. Holy crap, now that is a true guardian spirit. This python is so smart. I can't believe it actually knew to save the kid. From now on, this python is my big boss. If anyone calls snakes cold-blooded after this, I'll be the first to roast him. Chu Wanchu's personal account totally blew up, too. She went from having just a few thousand followers to a massive 3 million followers in just half a day. By evening, Chu Wanchu pulled up in a refrigerated truck, arriving at my personal territory. Inside the truck, it was packed to the brim with top-tier black pork and 2 fully prepped beef carcasses. Xiao Fan, you did such a great job today. Your big sis even dipped into her dowry funds to get you a feast. Chu Wanchu set up her phone on the tripod and started the stream. 100,000 people flooded the stream instantly. The massive wave of comments almost crashed her screen. Brother Fan is a beast. Here to see the god-tier python that saved the kid. Streamer, feed him already. Don't let our great general go hungry. The moment I saw this setup, I knew exactly what to do. This was the perfect chance to farm some reputation points. I slowly slithered out of the mud, deliberately swaying my massive body, and stopped right in front of the truck. Chu Wanchu tossed down a massive, whole cow, but instead of swallowing it in one bite like I usually do, I used my tail to pull the cow in front of me, almost like a human. And then, I raised my head, looked straight into the camera, opened my giant, fang-filled mouth, and somehow forced out an absolutely adorable smile. I even took the very tip of my tail and made a little shape, like a finger heart. Chat went wild. Holy crap, that snake is magical. It's making a heart at me. It's actually smiling. Is this really a freaking giant python? That's just a giant puppy. The stream absolutely lost its mind. GIF animations were exploding across the screen. Principal Wong dropped 100 super rockets. Miss Lee gifted 50 carnivals. And along with the insane amount of donations, the system notifications in my head were popping off non-stop, like popcorn in a microwave. Ding, harvested a massive amount of worship points. Reputation points, 1,000. Ding, reputation points, 2,000. Ding, reputation points exceeded 10,000. Reward, 3 bronze chests. As I happily swallowed the ox whole, I went crazy opening chests in my mind. System, open all 3 bronze chests for me. And use that lucky draw chance while you're at it. Ding, chests opened successfully. You have obtained 2 bone enhancers. You have obtained venomous fangs. Passive skill. Bites now inflict severe paralysis and corrosive toxins. Ding. Lucky draw successful. You have obtained life detection radar. Can detect mutant energy signatures within a 10-mile radius. Jackpot. I hit the jackpot. I immediately equipped all the bone enhancers and venomous fangs. A muffled cracking of bones echoed inside me, and my scales turned into a much deeper, darker shade. Like a phantom in the night. Even though my size didn't change, the density and toughness of my bones had at least doubled. If I ran into that beast Gale right now, I wouldn't even need to constrict him. Just one bite of my venom would melt him into a puddle of blood. Chu Wanchu watched me tearing into the meat. Her eyes were full of warmth, but her delicate brows were slightly furrowed. Like something was weighing heavy on her mind. As I swallowed the black boar whole, I used my highly sensitive thermal vision and noticed a slight drop in her body temperature. She seemed afraid of something. Soon enough, her phone rang. On the other end of the line was a deep, commanding male voice. Wanchu, word just came in from the military's special division. It's not just Gale that mutated. Deep in the old forests of the ecological zone, there have been multiple reports of mutated animals attacking people. We've detected an absolutely massive mutant energy signature. Something terrible is going to happen tonight. Grab that giant beast, Lin Fan, and evacuate to the underground bunker immediately. Do not stay out in the open. The man on the phone was Chu Wancho's father, the commander-in-chief of the Jiangnan military region, Chu Pojun. Chu Wancho's face turned pale. Dad, what exactly is this mutant energy signature? Is it an artificial genetic mutagen? Chu Pojun let out a heavy sigh. A squad of international shadow mercenaries took advantage of the early stages of the aura awakening and snuck deep into the ecological zone. They've been using a special serum to force animals to mutate, hoping to harvest high-level mutant cores. Gale was just one of their failed experiments. Hearing this, I stopped swallowing the boar. Within my cold, vertical pupils, a bone-chilling murderous intent flashed. So that's how it is. No wonder that cowardly big cat suddenly went through such a ridiculous evolution. Turns out humans were pulling the strings behind the scenes. Suddenly, in my mind, memories from the original owner of this body flashed before me. 3 years ago, one of the original host's companions was brutally murdered by poachers, skinned alive and ripped apart. This ecological zone, this is my home, and more importantly, my turf. Daring to stir up a bio-crisis on my turf, and almost getting my little human fan killed? These mercenaries are really begging for death. They must be tired of living. Chu Wanchu hung up the phone, hurriedly shut off her stream, and ran toward me in an absolute panic. Xiao Fan, hurry, come with me, it's not safe here anymore. She tried to pull me, but with my weight of 3.5 tons. How could she possibly move me? I ignored her frantic pleas, and instead reared my head up sharply, staring into the pitch-black primal forest deep within the sanctuary. Because my newly equipped life detection radar was lighting up with a massive swarm of red dots. Coming from all directions, they were swarming toward my territory like a tidal wave. What's more, one of those massive red dots was radiating absolutely terrifying energy spikes. It was several times stronger than the hurricane we faced earlier today. At the same time, the stealthy hum of drones echoed through the night sky. A few blinding red laser scanners cut straight through the darkness, locking perfectly onto my massive black and gold body. Target acquired. We found the apex mutant giant. Its research value is off the charts. Close the net. We take this beast alive. The cold, ruthless voices of the human mercenaries crackled over the radios from the dark jungle. Right after that, roar, deafening ape's shriek tore through the air, even more piercing and furious than the one from earlier today. It exploded through the night sky, and the trees began shaking violently. But it wasn't just one. I watched as a full 5 mutated giant apes, all standing over 5 meters tall, led by a colossal 8-meter tall silver-backed giant ape covered in long silver fur, slowly stepped out from the jungle. Their physical strength alone was terrifying, but they were also wielding fully uprooted trees as weapons. Staring into that sea of glowing, blood-red eyes, Chu Wanchu fell into absolute despair. We're dead. The color drained completely from her face as she collapsed onto the ground. I looked down at the shivering girl, then glared back at those arrogant mercenaries and the mutated apes. I didn't get angry, I just smirked. A low, deafening hiss rumbled from my throat like muffled thunder. System, devour all 10 of those high-tier evolution crystals for me right now. Ding, devouring high-tier evolution crystals, times 10. Energy injection in progress. Congratulations, host, you have successfully broken through the stage 2 mutation bottleneck. Your physical form is transforming, evolving into the abyssal blackwater serpent. In a flash, a wave of unmatched, berserk energy exploded inside my body. Under the moonlight, my massive frame began to violently expand. 18 meters, 25 meters, the scales along my spine erupted outward like jagged black blades. Each scale gleamed with a chilling, spectral aura. 2 massive bumps even began swelling at the top of my skull, like horns trying to burst right out of my flesh. With just a casual sweep of my gargantuan tail, the impact carved a massive, deep trench right into the earth. I slowly turned around. I shielded Chu Wanchu behind me, like a demon god descending to earth. I reared my massive head back, and facing the dark jungle, let out a primal roar loud enough to shatter every eardrum around. Hiss, you wanna catch me? You wanna drain my blood? Let's see who the real prey is tonight. We'll see about that. Bring it on. Let this bloody carnival officially begin. That primal roar kicked up a massive gale. It blew down whole swaths of trees along the bank. Chu Wanchu slumped on the ground behind me, covering her ears, her beautiful eyes wide with shock. She stared at my terrifying body, which had exploded to 25 meters long, holding her breath in absolute awe. And across from us, those 5 mutated giant apes were clearly stunned too. I guess their walnut-sized brains just couldn't process it. Why a python that was originally only 15 meters long could inflate like a balloon in a matter of seconds. Open fire. Shoot its eyes out first. The mercenary leader's frantic roar echoed through the darkness. Rat-tat-tat-tat. Several tongues of fire erupted from the trees. A massive hail of armor-piercing bullets rained down on me like a torrential storm. I just sneered. Dodge? I'm the abyssal blackwater serpent now, damn it. Not only did I not dodge, I just snapped my eyes shut, lowered my head, and took the bullets head-on with the hardest scales on my back. Cling, clang, a dense barrage of metal clashing exploded into the night. Sparks flew everywhere. Those custom armor-piercing bullets merely left a few shallow white scratches when they hit my black gold scales. They didn't even break the skin. Holy shit, how is that even possible? The mercenaries screamed from the woods as if they'd seen a ghost. Is this a freaking snake or a main battle tank? Taking advantage of their reload gap, I made my move. My 25-meter massive body wasn't clumsy at all despite its size. Instead, thanks to the explosive surge in muscle power, I was as fast as a bolt of black lightning skimming the ground. Swoosh, I launched myself straight into the pack of apes, kicking up a storm of dead leaves. Seeing me charge, those 5 mutated giant apes immediately swarmed me, banking on their sheer numbers. Leading the charge was that massive, 8-meter-tall silverback. It hoisted a massive tree trunk, reeking of a foul, bloody stench, and swung it straight at my vital spot. A defeated loser like you dares to act tough? I scoffed inwardly. I slammed my massive tail onto the ground, launching my entire body into the air to execute a perfectly agile tactical dodge. I flawlessly evaded the giant ape's lethal blow. And then, my colossal tail, like a massive steel whip, charged up with terrifying kinetic energy. Crack, boom, this devastating tail swipe landed squarely on a 5-meter-tall ape right next to it. The giant ape didn't even have time to scream. My blow literally folded its entire body in half midair. The sickening crunch of shattering bones popped like a string of firecrackers. It was like a broken rag doll, sent flying dozens of meters away, smashing brutally into the rocks in the distance. It stopped moving entirely. An instant kill. An absolute instant kill. Ding. Killed a tier 1 mutated giant ape. Gained 5,000 evolution points. The system prompt in my head got me absolutely pumped. Call these guys monsters? They're literally just walking bags of express. The remaining 4 giant apes, including the silverback, were completely stunned by the sheer power of that tail strike. In their glowing red eyes, there finally flickered a hint of something called fear. Trying to run? Too late. I threw my massive jaws open and let out an absolutely deafening roar. With a violent lunge, I coiled my massive body straight around the silverback trying to escape. You overgrown monkey, Daddy's gonna give you a little chiropractic adjustment today. Crunch, I triggered my venomous fangs and sank them deep into the silverback's shoulder, instantly pumping heavy paralyzing and corrosive toxins right into its system. The silverback's muscles, beefed up by gene serums, rapidly turned pitch black and rotted away under the venom. It wailed in pure agony, frantically clawing at my scales. But wrapped in my 25-meter ultimate death grip, its little struggle was just pathetic. In less than 10 seconds, blood was pouring from every hole in the silverback's face. And it went completely dead in my coils. Ding! Killed a Tier 2 mutant, silverback giant ape. Gained 20,000 evolution points. Host is unmatched in ferocity. Dominated the battlefield, gained 5,000 reputation points. Seeing their boss wiped out in seconds, the remaining 3 apes completely lost their minds. They bolted like maniacs in 3 different directions. I couldn't even be bothered to chase them, because the real threat was the mercenaries hiding in the woods with heavy weapons. I casually spat out the silverback's corpse and locked my cold, mocking reptilian eyes dead onto the shadowy figures deep in the trees. Fall back, there's no way in hell we can take this freak. The mercenary leader finally realized how screwed they were, screaming at the top of his lungs. 3 modified all-terrain off-roaders flipped on their blinding high beams, frantically backing up to escape. You think you can just come and go as you please? Treating my turf like a damn public restroom? I whipped my massive body across the ground and slammed my terrifying 25-meter bulk down like a crashing mountain, blocking their escape route dead in its tracks. Ram it, run that thing over. The merc leader frantically pounded the dashboard, and his lead driver was clearly a psycho too. He floored the gas pedal, and the engine roared as the truck barreled straight at me. I flicked my forked tongue in sheer disgust. You want to play bumper cars? With my black gold armor and several tons of raw weight, you think I'm scared of a little tin can? I didn't even flinch. I just braced my massive trunk right into the oncoming truck and smashed into it like an indestructible wall of solid steel. Bam! The deafening shriek of twisting metal shattered the night. That speeding truck slammed into me like it had hit an immovable fortress. The front end was instantly crushed into scrap, and the sheer force of the impact sent the entire rig rocketing into the air, flipping 3 or 4 times, before it smashed heavily into a massive tree, erupting into a giant ball of fire. The mercs inside didn't even have time to scream before they were totally wiped off the map. The other 2 cars slammed on their brakes in panic, their tires screeching and kicking up clouds of acrid white smoke. The mercenaries tumbled out of their vehicles, scrambling to raise their high-explosive grenade launchers. They aimed right at me. Go to hell, you prehistoric monster. 2 high-explosive grenades, trailing long tails of fire, came screaming toward me, but I didn't even flinch, because Chu Wanchu was right behind me. If I dodged now, the shockwave would absolutely tear her to shreds. Fine, I'll take the hit. I lowered my head, pushing the defensive power of my black and gold scales to the absolute limit. Boom, the massive blast detonated right against my body. Blinding fire instantly swallowed my entire frame. Direct hit, we got it, it's dead. The mercenaries cheered in wild ecstasy. In the distance, Chu Wanchu let out a desperate, heartbroken scream. Xiao Fan. She tried to rush over recklessly, but the shockwave knocked her flat on the ground. But when the thick smoke finally cleared, the arrogant smirks on the mercenaries' faces instantly froze into pure, unadulterated terror. My massive body was still coiled there, steady as a mountain. Aside from a few blackened scales on my back, sizzling with faint white smoke, I was completely unharmed. I didn't even lose a single scale. Is that all you got? Do you guys even know how to fight? I pulled back my lips and let out a deep, mocking roar. Then, I opened my massive jaws and violently spat out a thick stream of pitch-black venom. The acid landed dead center on the second SUV. The heavy-duty armor instantly melted away, hissing into gaping holes. The mercs inside shrieked in agony as they dissolved into pools of bloody sludge. The last remaining leader dragged himself up from the dirt, drenched in blood. His eyes were completely unhinged with madness and utter despair. This is impossible. Defense and venom of this magnitude. Even the ultimate weapon from our lab can't pull this off. Trembling, he whipped out a metallic syringe from his jacket. It was filled with some freaky, glowing neon green liquid. You freak, you forced my hand. If I go down, I'm taking you with me. Without a second thought, he stabbed the needle deep into his neck, pushing every last drop of that green sludge into his veins. The mercenary leader let out a guttural, inhuman shriek of pure agony. His body started to mutate, expanding so violently that his clothes ripped to shreds in an instant. His muscles bulged like balloons, and his skin hardened into thick, brown, armor-like scales. His hands mutated into massive bear paws armed with razor-sharp claws, and vicious fangs ripped through his gums. In just a matter of seconds, he had morphed into a towering, 5-meter-tall, half-man, half-bear monstrosity. Ding! Warning! Human injection of ultra-high-density mutant serum detected. Target has mutated into a Tier 3 variant. Bio-Berserker Bear. This creature has lost all sense of pain. Its strength levels are extremely volatile. Host, please proceed with caution. The Bio-Berserker Bear's eyes glowed blood red as it let out a deafening, beastly roar. It lunged straight at me. Its massive 5-meter frame was still nothing but a joke compared to my towering 25-meter size. But I wasn't about to drop my guard. Because this freak's speed was ridiculously fast, it launched itself into the air and swiped its razor-sharp claws right at my weak spot, sending a shower of sparks flying off my scales. It actually managed to leave 3 white scratch marks on my armor. Hey, now that's interesting. I can't believe it actually broke my defense. I swung my tail, wanting to whip it away, but this monster was incredibly agile. It actually crawled right up my body and jumped onto my back, raising its sandbag-sized fists. And frantically smashed my head. Bam, 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 bam. Every strike carried tremendous force, leaving my head spinning a little. Do you take me for some harmless garden snake just because I haven't shown my fangs? I was completely furious. I abruptly reared up my front half, bringing the Bio-Berserker Bear on my back over 10 meters into the air. Then, I unleashed a gravity slam, taking its massive body, and ruthlessly smashing it right into the ground. Boom, the earth trembled. The Bio-Berserker Bear was pinned beneath me, half of its internal organs instantly shattered by the impact. Before it could even react, my massive, 25-meter body instantly coiled around it in a death grip. Ultimate death constriction. Crack, crack, crack. The bear's tough bones let out a despairing crunch. I opened my huge jaws and sprayed my deadliest venom directly into its wounds. The toxins instantly destroyed its last spark of life. This arrogant, Tier 3 Bio-Berserker Bear was reduced to a mangled corpse within my coils. Completely dead, I loosened my grip, casually tossed the remains aside, and coldly glanced at the mess all over the ground. With only this much power, you dare cause trouble in my territory? You were just a little appetizer, that's all. Ding. Killed Tier 3 Bio-Berserker Bear. Gained 50,000 evolution energy points. Host has successfully wiped out the poaching syndicate, saving the ecological zone from crisis. Gained massive reputation points. Reputation has broken through the 100,000 mark. Congratulations to the host for achieving the title, Regional Guardian Deity. Would you like to consume 100,000 reputation points right now for a premium draw? Draw. Of course I'm drawing. My heart was practically blooming with joy. Ding. Premium draw in progress. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the passive divine skill, Warm-Blooded Physique. You can now freely regulate your body temperature, no longer restricted by a cold-blooded animal's hibernation or heat loss weaknesses. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the active divine skill, Elemental Breath. Annihilation Black Flames. You can spew extremely high-temperature black flames, capable of incinerating absolutely everything. Perfect. I really wanted to give the system a huge thumbs up. With this warm-blooded physique, I can roam outside fearlessly even in winter from now on. I slowly slithered toward Chu Wanchu. In the distance, she was still slumped on the ground. She stared at me blankly, looking at the wrecked-off road vehicles scattered around and the grim fate of those mercenaries. Her eyes filled with shock and absolute disbelief. Xiao Fan. She called out tentatively, her voice trembling just a bit. She was probably afraid I had gone completely bloodthirsty and would swallow her whole, too. I rolled my giant eyes. It's not like I'm some kind of brainless beast. I slithered up to her silently, my massive body towering like a huge black wall, casting a deep shadow entirely over her. And then, I lowered my head, bringing that massive skull, bigger than a compact car. I gently leaned in close to her, just like I used to. I softly nudged the back of her hand with my cold snout, and flicked my tongue. To comfort her, Chu Wancho's tears instantly broke like a dam. She threw herself at me, throwing her arms around my rough, hard scales. She just let it all out, sobbing uncontrollably. Wah, you scared me to death. I thought you wouldn't recognize me after you mutated. Do you have any idea how dangerous that was? Wah, I felt a bit helpless. Why is this woman such a crybaby? Well, for the sake of all that premium black pork she feeds me, I guess I'll let you hug me for a bit. Just then, the deafening roar of helicopters echoed through the sky. Over a dozen military gunships came roaring in from all directions. The blinding glare of their searchlights instantly lit up the whole area like it was broad daylight. Countless heavily armed special forces operators fast roped down to the ground, securing the perimeter in seconds. Leading them was a middle-aged man in a high-ranking officer's uniform. He had a strong, square jawline and a totally icy, commanding presence. It was Chu Wancho's father, Chu Pojun. Chu Pojun looked at the ground, taking in the dead mercenaries, the burning wreckage of the off-road vehicles, and that freakish bio-bear that had been melted into a puddle of toxic black sludge. Finally, his eyes locked onto me, a terrifying, 25-meter-long titan, completely covered in black gold scales. Even a battle-hardened veteran like Chu Pojun couldn't hide the intense shock flashing in his eyes. Dad, seeing him, Chu Wanchu quickly wiped her tears and stood up from my side. Wanchu, are you alright? Chu Pojun rushed over, frantically looking his daughter up and down. After making sure she didn't have a single scratch on her, he let out a massive sigh of relief. Then, he pointed straight at me. And this? He asked, totally on guard. This is Lin Fan, the giant python from the ecozone. Chu Wanchu puffed out her chest with pride and declared it for everyone to hear. That's right, it's him. Dad, if it wasn't for Xiao Fan tonight, I'd be dead. He fought off that mutated giant ape, and then he took on this entire squad of heavily armed poachers, all by himself. There was even a monster pumped full of berserker serum, and he crushed it to death. Hearing that, every single special forces operator around them gasped in pure shock. That kind of kill record? That kind of raw power? Did a prehistoric mythical god just drop out of the sky? Chu Pojun stared deeply into my eyes. Looking into my cold, slitted pupils, he didn't find the mindless rage or bloodlust of a wild beast. All he saw was absolute calm, true intelligence, and maybe even a hint of, yep. I was absolutely judging him for showing up so late. I've already wiped out all the mobs, and you guys just show up to mop the floor? You truly are a divine beast with human-like intelligence. Chu Pojun suddenly took a deep breath, and right there, facing an animal like me, he gave a crisp, dead serious military salute. Lin Fan, thank you for your service in protecting this ecozone, and for saving human lives. From this day forward, you will be officially registered with the Special Affairs Bureau. Your code name, the Black Dragon of the Nation, enjoying the highest level of treatment and protection. We will never let anyone hurt you. The moment I heard this title, my heart just bloomed with joy. The Black Dragon of the Nation. That name is absolutely badass, and perfectly edgy. I love it, and the best part is, enjoying the highest level of treatment. Does that mean, my daily menu is getting an upgrade from black pigs to something way more premium? I nodded in absolute satisfaction, and even used the tip of my tail to return a little military salute. Holy crap, it understood us. It's a divine beast. All hail the Black Dragon. The special forces gasped in pure awe, their eyes completely filled with deep reverence and worship. Ding, harvested extreme shock and worship from the military faction. Reputation points skyrocketed by 20,000. Over the next 6 months, my life completely turned upside down. The Yunding Ecological Reserve was directly taken over by the military, upgrading into a national-level special biological protection base. And as for me, being the absolute core of the whole base, I scored an exclusive, climate-controlled mega nest covering tens of thousands of square meters. As for my daily meals, not only did I get premium seafood and prime meats, I even got high-grade nutrient fluids packed with spiritual energy, specially developed by the military. My size started pushing steadily toward 50 meters, and the video of that little boy throwing his Iron Man toy from the cable car to save me, right before I brutally slaughtered that saber-toothed tiger, had already been turned into a documentary. It smashed through 1 billion views online. I, Lin Fan, had completely become a global superstar. Even international networks were frantically sharing my videos, gasping that the Great Eastern Nation had unlocked the secrets of ancient behemoths. Every single day, tens of thousands of fans flocked to the outer walls of the base, just hoping to catch a distant glimpse of me. Chu Wanchu was now my exclusive liaison and full proxy. She drove her patrol car around my nest every day, grinning from ear to ear. Thanks to my explosive popularity, Higher-ups handed her hundreds of millions in research funding. Little fan. Dinner time. That afternoon, Chu Wanchu drove a massive heavy-duty truck right up to my nest. Dozens of military logistics crew members unloaded tons of meat from a massive mutated walrus. It was a mutant beast they had intercepted off the coast, shipped over specifically as a special treat for me. I leisurely poked my head out and swallowed the entire mutated walrus in one single gulp. My overpowered digestive system broke it down and absorbed it instantly. Ding! Devoured mutated walrus. Acquired a minor amount of water attribute evolution energy. I let out a deeply satisfying burp and stretched out on my custom-built giant artificial beach to soak up the sun. Ah, life at the top. It's almost too peaceful. I sighed happily. No clocking in for work. Just eating, sleeping, and being waited on hand and foot every single day. Now this is the kind of retirement a fierce beast truly deserves. Just as I was getting drowsy and drifting off to sleep, a piercing air raid siren suddenly ripped through the sky above the entire reserve. Blinding red lights started flashing frantically across the base. I snapped my cold, reptilian eyes wide open, and my morning rage instantly flared up. What the hell is going on? Can't a snake even get a decent nap around here? Don't they know messing with a cold-blooded animal's sleep makes my scales fall out? Oh wait, I'm warm-blooded now. Still, not cool. But before I could even lose my temper, Chu Wanchu came frantically stumbling out of the command center. Her once perfect hair was a tangled mess from running, and her face was as white as a sheet. She was gripping a military tablet for dear life. Xiao Fan, something terrible has happened. Chu Wanchu's voice was shaking, filled with absolute despair. The coastal defense line has completely fallen. I tilted my massive head, flicking my forked tongue. I thought, fallen? It's only been 6 months since the energy awakening. Are human jets and cannons just for show? Chu Wanchu turned the tablet screen toward me, holding it right up to my giant, glowing eyes. On the screen was a live feed from a military satellite. Less than 100 kilometers off the coast of Zhangcheng City, a terrifying tsunami, over 100 meters high, was tearing across the East Sea. And right in the middle of those massive, pitch-black waves was a nightmarish monster, easily over 80 meters tall. It was riding the storm straight toward us. The damn thing looked like something straight out of a Cthulhu nightmare. Its whole body was a grotesque mountain of flesh, dragging 8 horrifying tentacles that looked like giant pillars of steel. Every single tentacle was covered in vicious suckers and razor-sharp barbs, strong enough to crush a heavy battle tank like a soda can. Ding! Critical threat alert. System has detected a Tier 7, Catastrophe-class mutant, the Deep-Sea Titan Octopus. This creature carries lethal deep-sea venom and highly corrosive ink. Its regenerative abilities are off the charts. Extreme danger. Tier 7? I nearly choked to death on the chunk of walrus meat I had just swallowed. I am only a Tier 2 mutant. Sure, I have grown to 50 meters long, and I can punch above my weight against Tier 4 or Tier 5 enemies. But dropping an 80-meter Tier 7 Titan right on my doorstep? Are you freaking kidding me? Zhangcheng City's 10 coastal defense lines. It ripped right through them with a single strike. Chu Wanchu collapsed to the floor, burying her face in her hands as she burst into tears. My dad led the special ops team to the front lines to hold it off, but our heavy weapons are useless. It doesn't even leave a scratch. It is heading straight for the heart of the city. Millions of people live there. We don't have time to evacuate them. My heart skipped a beat. Zhangcheng City? Suddenly, a memory flashed in my mind. I remembered a little boy holding an Iron Man toy, shouting at me from a cable car. Shouting, "The great general is invincible." Little Zan Zan, that sweet kid. His family lived right there in the coastal development zone. In my past life, I was just a nobody. A miserable corporate slave. No one gave a damn about me. When I died, I didn't even have anyone to bury my body. But in this life, I am the guardian god of this land. These humans, they feed me the finest cuts of meat. They call me the sovereign black dragon. They treat me like a hero. And now, some oversized, mutated seafood thinks it can trash my turf? This ugly, deformed bastard wants to eat my fans? To hell with that. These are my people. Nobody lays a finger on them but me. Roar. I reared my massive head back. I let out an earth-shattering howl of pure rage. My entire 50-meter body exploded upward from the sand. My black and gold scales gleamed with a deadly, ice-cold fury in the sunlight. Ignoring Chu Wanchu's shocked screams, I smashed right through the base's giant steel blast doors. I became a streak of black lightning, tearing furiously toward the city. Ding! System detects host actively engaging a superior threat. Hidden main quest triggered. The Guardian's Wrath. Quest rewards. Based on the host's combat performance, the highest tier evolution can be unlocked early. System prompt in my mind sent my fighting spirit soaring. System, convert all my remaining 100,000 prestige points into the Storm Sprint buff potion. Ding! Exchange successful. Host's movement speed increased by 300%. Duration: 1 hour. Boom! My body instantly exploded into afterimages too fast for the naked eye to catch. Even with a terrifying dead weight of 10 tons, my movements right now actually broke the sound barrier. Along the way, the air was ripped apart by my massive frame, letting out deafening sonic booms. Meanwhile, the Zhangcheng Cross Sea Bridge had already turned into a living hell. That 80-meter-tall deep-sea demon rock octopus had made landfall, with just a casual sweep of its mountain-like tentacles, snapped the bridge's load-bearing pillars right in half. Rumble, the bridge deck tilted violently. Countless vehicles that hadn't evacuated in time plunged into the turbulent sea one after another. Covered in blood, Chu Pojun stood on top of an armored command vehicle and roared hoarsely, "Open fire. Hit it with everything you've got. We absolutely cannot let it take a single step into the city." Hundreds of main battle tanks and armed helicopters frantically poured their artillery fire onto the octopus. However, as the smoke cleared, there were only a few shallow white scratches on the monster's thick, rock-like hide. Flash of human-like mockery crossed its crimson eyes, and its 8 tentacles suddenly shot forward. Swish, swish, swish. Several armed helicopters were instantly entangled by the tentacles and crushed into fiery balls of scrap metal in midair. Then, it opened its disgusting, gaping maw lined with thousands of barbs and spewed out a jet of pitch-black, corrosive ink. The ink rained down on the tank formation. Even the toughest composite armor melted into molten iron in just a few short seconds. The agonizing screams of the soldiers echoed endlessly. The defense line had completely collapsed. It's over. Is this really the end of humanity? Chu Pojun closed his eyes in pure despair. Right at that moment, on the edge of the tilted, broken bridge, a school bus was stuck on the guardrail, teetering dangerously. The windows were shattered, and a little boy was hanging halfway out of the vehicle, clinging desperately to the window frame. It was Xuan. He was still gripping that plastic Iron Man toy for dear life, tears streaming down his face. "Mommy, the great black dragon general. The general will come save us, right?" The deep-sea demon rock octopus noticed the commotion on the bridge. It swung a massive tentacle, casting a shadow of absolute destruction, and slammed it down ruthlessly toward the school bus. No, Chu Pojun and the countless survivors watching this unfold through the live broadcast let out a despairing roar. Everyone thought this kid was dead for sure, but in that hair-raising, life-or-death climax, an eardrum-shattering sonic boom exploded from the end of Zhangcheng's ruined streets. Boom, a colossal black and gold afterimage, carrying an unmatchable, violent kinetic energy, leapt straight into the air dozens of meters high. Like an anti-ship missile fired from its launcher, it slammed brutally into the octopus's tentacle that was hurtling toward the school bus. Boom, an earth-shattering roar echoed out. The terrifying recoil blasted through the air, sending out a massive, visible white shockwave. That 10,000-ton, Stage 7 behemoth was actually caught off guard by my desperate, life-risking tackle. It stumbled hard, and its massive tentacles were knocked completely off course. They slammed heavily into the nearby ocean, sending massive geysers of water exploding into the sky. As for me, that horrific rebound force sent me flying back over 100 meters. I smashed clean through 3 whole buildings before I finally managed to stop my momentum. Every bone in my body felt like it was going to shatter. Damn it, a Stage 7 mutant. This bastard's shell is seriously tough. I shook my dizzy head and dragged myself out of the rubble. Raising my dust-covered, massive python head, I blocked the path right in front of the cross-sea bridge. I stared down that 80-meter-tall monster, and let out a furious, mocking roar. "This is my turf. You think an ugly freak like you can just run wild here?" In that moment, the entirety of Zhangcheng City, even the whole nation of Zhuzhou watching the live stream instantly erupted into cheers. "It's the Guardian Black Dragon. He's here. Oh my god, he didn't run away. He's fighting that Stage 7 monster to save us." The great general, I knew the great general would come save me. Little Zan Zan cried out from the bridge. The deep-sea demon rock octopus was completely enraged by my tackle. It twisted its hideous head. Its glowing, scarlet eyes locked dead onto me. To that thing, my 50-meter-long body was nothing more than a slightly oversized loach. Hiss! It let out an agonizing, ear-piercing shriek, and swung 3 of its massive tentacles straight down at my head. They moved so fast, the friction literally sparked through the air. I can't dodge this. This monster's attack range is way too huge. I could only push my black gold scales to their absolute limit, coiling my body tightly against the ground. Bring it on, let's see who's tougher. Boom, the tentacles smashed brutally into my back. It felt like a whole damn mountain had been dropped on me. Crack, my absolute pride, my hardened scales, from just that single strike, shattered into an endless web of cracks. Dark crimson blood started pouring out over my black gold scales. My body was driven over 10 meters deep straight into the earth. The pain, God, it was agonizing, gut-wrenching pain. But I gritted my teeth as hard as I could. I refused to let out a single scream. Xiao Fan, run away, you can't beat it. Chu Wan Chu's devastated, sobbing voice echoed from the communicator. Run? I glanced behind me. Right behind me was a school bus packed full of children, along with 1 million civilians who hadn't evacuated yet. If I took a single step back, they'd all turn into this oversized seafood's next meal. Run? Bullshit. I cursed furiously in my head and pushed my muscles to their absolute limit. Forcing myself against the crushing weight of those massive tentacles, I dragged myself out of that crater, inch by inch. I am the guardian black dragon, and without my damn permission, no one gets to run wild on my turf. I threw open my massive, blood-stained jaws. I sank my teeth deep into the joint of the octopus's tentacle. System skill, elemental breath, annihilating black flames. At point-blank range, I took the black flames compressed to the absolute limit inside my body, and blasted them wildly through my clenched teeth. Boom! Black fire, hot as the core of the sun, burned straight through its tentacle. The sickening stench of burnt squid instantly filled the air. The abyssal octopus writhed in agony, letting out a blood-curdling shriek. Its other tentacles whipped out like venomous vipers. 3 tentacles, covered in venomous barbs, violently pierced straight through my stomach and spine. The venom spread instantly. My vision started to blur. The strength was draining rapidly from my body. Wham! The octopus gave a vicious flick, sending me flying through the air. I crashed into the pillar of the broken bridge, like a discarded ragdoll. Blood stained the ground beneath me red. This time, I really couldn't get back up. My 50-meter-long massive body lay helplessly paralyzed in the ruins. Even my breathing grew faint. No, Chu Pojun wept bitterly, slamming his fists hard against the command vehicle. In the live streams, hundreds of millions of viewers watched this tragic scene unfold, all of them sobbing uncontrollably. He's just an animal. Why is he going this far for us humans? Stop fighting. Please, just run away. We don't blame you. The abyssal octopus stared down at me on the ground, its eyes flashing with absolute contempt. It raised its scorched tentacle, ready to crush me completely into a bloody pulp. But just in that moment of absolute despair, a shocking reversal happened. Up on the broken bridge, that 6-year-old boy named Xuan, he didn't run away crying. I don't know where he found the courage, but he climbed out of that wrecked school bus. He grabbed an emergency megaphone from inside the bus and clicked it on. He held up his cheap, plastic Iron Man toy and pressed its chest speaker right against the microphone. A miracle will always happen. The fierce, blood-pumping heavy metal music of Iron Man booting up blasted through the megaphone, echoing heroically across the ruins. And then came Xuan's childish, yet heartbreakingly desperate scream. It rang out across the entire battlefield. General, get up, you can't lose, you're our guardian god. That single, desperate cry acted like a spark, instantly setting the entire despairing city ablaze. The citizens who hadn't evacuated yet, the battered and bloodied soldiers. I don't know who started it, but suddenly, with tears in their eyes, everyone was screaming wildly in my direction. Black Dragon of the nation, get up! The unified, roaring voices of millions converged into an invisible, unstoppable wave that shattered the clouds. The tears of millions, the hopes of millions, transformed into the purest emotional energy in the world. Ding! Detecting a massively powerful and pure surge of faith energy. Host's reputation has broken through the 10 million milestone. Detecting critical life signs from the host. Activating desperate Nirvana protocol. Congratulations, host, successfully extracted the hidden reward. The bloodline power of the ancient heaven-swallowing python. Critical emergency. Initiate fusion and evolution immediately? Inside my head, the system was screaming with an ear-splitting red alert. Feeling the lethal, agonizing pain tearing through my stomach. Hearing the millions of humans behind me screaming their lungs out. Solid, pitch-black inferno reignited inside my slitted eyes. Fuse, give me full fusion, damn it. I let out a maniacal roar in my mind. The very next second, the heavens and earth trembled. An incredibly terrifying, ancient, and boundless prehistoric aura violently erupted from the depths of my crippled body. That lethal tentacle crashing down toward me stopped just half a meter away from my head. It was brutally deflected by a massive, visible shockwave of black energy. What the hell is that? Everyone's eyes went wide with absolute shock. They watched as my body was completely engulfed in a blinding cocoon of black light. The jagged barbs buried inside me were forcefully pushed out. My wounds healed in the blink of an eye. But what was even more terrifying was my sheer size, kickstarting a catastrophic, explosive growth spurt right inside that cocoon. 60 meters, 100 meters, the moment the black cocoon shattered. A colossus stretching over 100 meters long. Like an ultimate demon ripped straight out of prehistoric myths, towered fiercely over the coastline of Zhangcheng. My torso was as massive and rugged as a skyscraper. The scales down my back were no longer just ordinary black and gold. They had mutated, glowing with deep, chaotic dark runes that shimmered like a starry abyss. My skull morphed, becoming terrifyingly majestic and vicious. I was on the absolute verge of transforming into a dragon. With every single breath, I spewed clouds of scorching black mist into the air. Evolution complete. Current species, ancient titan heaven-swallowing python. Pseudo 8th tier ultimate form. Ultimate passive skill acquired. Heaven-swallowing tyrant body. Completely immune to all toxins. Physical defense boosted by 500. Ultimate active divine skill acquired. Void devour. Titan extinction strangling. I threw my head back. I glared down at the deep-sea demonic rock octopus. The beast used to dwarf me, but now, it was completely overshadowed by my presence. For the first time, absolute, primal terror flooded its glowing red eyes. It shivered and backed away. Trying to run? I stretched open my terrifying jaws, wide enough to swallow a whole cruise ship, and let out a deafening roar that shook the entire ocean. This time, it was going to be a pure, one-sided slaughter. My 100-meter titan body vanished, instantly teleporting right in front of the octopus. Bam! I whipped my massive tail right across its skull. The sheer force cracked the Tier 7 monster's forehead wide open, sending its massive body crashing into the dirt. It obliterated half the street on impact, but I didn't even give it a second to stand back up. I snapped my bloody jaws shut, clamping down hard on its massive, central tentacle. That supposedly indestructible flesh was nothing against the ultimate bite force of a heaven-swallowing python. I ripped it clean off at the base. Toxic green blood erupted into the sky like a geyser. The octopus thrashed wildly on the ground in absolute agony, its remaining tentacles whipping frantically against my tyrant body. But they couldn't even scratch me. Not even a single spark flew. I let out a vicious sneer. Is that it? You were having a lot of fun beating me up just a second ago. I hoisted up my massive, 50-meter tail, completely wrapped in glowing, chaotic dark runes. Carving a terrifying sonic boom through the air. Divine Dragon Tail Whip. Titan Smash. Boom. That tail whipped perfectly. Right into the dead center of its fleshy base. Its indestructible skin shattered instantly, sending guts and slime splattering everywhere. It completely lost the ability to fight back, collapsing into the ruins like a pile of rotting meat, gasping its last breaths. But I wasn't about to let it off that easy. The bastard almost killed my little human fan just now. I had to make sure there wasn't even a speck of dust left of it. I towered over its shattered body. I ripped my massive jaws wide open. A terrifying black hole that looked like it could swallow light itself formed inside my mouth. Ultimate divine skill. Void devour. Boom. A massive black gravity vortex instantly swallowed up the octopus's mangled remains. There was zero suspense. That terrifying surge of energy instantly ripped that 80-meter tall, Tier 7 behemoth to shreds and sucked it right down into my stomach. Even the ocean behind it got forcefully sucked dry by the sheer gravitational pull. Exposing the deep, dark seabed, the entire battlefield fell dead silent. In the live streams, billions of viewers stared at this godlike spectacle, completely forgetting to even type in the chat. It wasn't until the massive cloud of mist cleared out, revealing me towering under the blood-red sunset. In all my unrivaled Titan glory. Ding. Killed Tier 7 Deep Sea Demonic Rock Octopus. Massive evolution energy acquired. Tier 7 Sea Beast Crystal Core. 1 unit. I let out a loud, seafood-flavored burp. Then, I slowly turned around, those cold, brutal slit eyes of mine, as I looked down at the shivering, hopeful humans on the broken bridge. Softened up, I slithered my massive, heavy body up to that school bus dangling in midair. Using my giant snout, I gently nudged the bus back onto the safety of the bridge. Xuan just stared at me, completely stunned. The Iron Man toy in his little hands dropped right to the ground. I flicked my tongue at him, and incredibly awkwardly, forced out another snake-style smile. General, Xuan suddenly burst into tears. He reached out his tiny hands and patted my massive scales. The very next second, the entire Zhangcheng city erupted in cheers loud enough to tear down the sky. We won. We actually won. Long live the Black Dragon. The general is invincible. Countless people were hugging and sobbing. Chu Pojun was so overwhelmed with emotion that his legs gave out. He gave a deep, respectful bow right in my direction. Chu Wanchu drove her off-road vehicle like a maniac, rushing right up to my feet. Staring up at my mountain-sized body, she was thrilled, yet terrified. She didn't even dare to come up and hug me like she used to. I lowered my head, and purposely flicked my giant tongue, messing her hair all up. You silly girl. Scared to tears again, huh? I teased her in my mind. After that legendary battle, I, Lin Fan, was officially crowned a living god. Not just in Kyushu, but all of humanity looked up to me as their one and only hope against the mutated monsters of the awakening. And the military, as a massive thank you, they actually went and completely remodeled a massive artificial island in the ocean. It's totally covered in premium soft sand airlifted from all over the world. It's packed with tropical rainforest plants, and they even built me a gigantic, temperature-controlled hot spring lake right in the middle of the island. Yep, this is my home now. And as for my daily meals, I'm not eating those basic mutant beasts anymore. Nope, I get all kinds of high-tier mutant sea monsters that dare to stir up trouble near the coast. The military hunts them all down and ships them right to me as snacks. We're talking Tier 5 giant deep-sea sharks, Tier 6 berserk electric eels. Man, the life I'm living right now, I wouldn't trade it to be a god. And just like that, on my very own, exclusive super artificial island, I spent a whole year living a life of absolute, pure luxury. No more clocking in every day. No more putting up with a grumpy boss. All I have to do is open my mouth, and military-heavy helicopters just drop premium seafood right in. The roe on this Tier 6 deep-sea giant crab tastes alright, but it really needs a splash of aged vinegar. I was soaking in my heated lake, munching on a crab shell bigger than a dump truck. Humble bragging to myself, when Chu Wanchu, wearing a sleek, custom-fitted military lab coat, walked up to the bulletproof glass corridor and started reading her report from a tablet. Xiao Fan, global mutant attacks have dropped by 9% today. With you guarding the Zhangcheng coastline, those intelligent sea beasts are absolutely terrified to even come close to our waters. Just listen to that. Now that's what I call prestige. Me, Lin Fan, a lowly corporate slave who got reincarnated, has single-handedly become the ultimate protector for over 1 billion people. The absolute pillar of this country. Every single day, there are countless girls online screaming that they want to have my babies. Wait, no. Have my little snake babies. Ding. The host has consistently topped global trending searches. Accumulated worship points have surpassed 50 million. All attributes passively increased by 10%. Hearing that sweet, sweet voice in my head, I stretched out and rolled over, shaking the entire artificial island like a massive earthquake. Oh yeah, that hits the spot. This life is just too good. Seriously, I wouldn't trade places with the King of Heaven himself. But of course, just when I thought I could spend the rest of my life chilling out and eating seafood, disaster struck, totally out of nowhere. Beep, an ear-piercing, maximum level red alert, suddenly exploded in my mind and across the entire military base at the exact same time. Warning, ultimate warning, Detected deep within the Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. The emergence of an apocalyptic level. Mutated energy source. Calculating biological threat level. Tier 9 peak. Abyssal bone dragon. Danger assessment. Capable of completely destroying all surface ecosystems on Earth. I instantly whipped my head up from the lake, my 100-meter Titan body sending massive, towering waves crashing everywhere. Tier 9 peak? I'm only at a pseudo Tier 8 right now, for crying out loud. Isn't that power gap a little too insane? System, are you seriously messing with me right now? Outside the base, the sirens were blaring, echoing through the sky. Chu Posion's holographic projection hijacked the main command screen on my island. This tough-as-nails commander was pale as a ghost, his hands physically shaking. Lin Fan. Something catastrophic just happened. The ocean rift in the center of the Pacific has completely collapsed. An abyssal bone dragon, over 600 meters long, just burst out. The Allied Forces' 3 aircraft carrier fleets couldn't even last a single minute against it. Utterly wiped out. It triggered a 500-meter tall apocalyptic tsunami. It's heading straight for the east coast of Kyushu. At a terrifying speed, the conventional nuclear arsenal has been unlocked and authorized for use. But against its field of death, the nukes couldn't even get close enough to detonate. 600 meters long, with a 500-meter high tsunami. That's a terrifying disaster that could literally wipe the continental shelf clean. Every live broadcast in Kyushu, and even across the entire world, has cut to the satellite feed right now. On the screen, a massive bone dragon, completely made of pale white skeletons, with eerie ghost fire burning in its eye sockets, is churning up the center of the ocean. Every single time it flaps its wings, it unleashes a Category 12 apocalyptic hurricane. The sheer, crushing pressure of it is absolutely suffocating. We're doomed. Humanity is completely finished this time. Countless people collapse to their knees in front of their screens, sobbing in despair. Chu Wan Chu's eyes were red with panic. She looked at me through the glass, biting her lip as tears streamed down her face. Xiao Fan, just run. The military has prepared a doomsday underground city. Please, evacuate with us. You can't beat it. Run away. I stared at the giant screen, watching that level 9 bone dragon show off its power. In my cold, slitted eyes, there wasn't a single trace of fear. Instead, an unprecedented, savage thirst for battle flared up inside me. I worked my ass off to finally reach the position of the Guardian Black Dragon. Enjoying the absolute best treatment in the entire world. And you oversized pile of bones, dare to mess with my livelihood? Dare to lay a finger on my fans? Dare to wreck my artificial island? Screw you, even if you are a level 9. I'm tearing your bones apart today to make soup. Roar. I threw my head back and unleashed an earth-shattering, heaven-devouring python's roar. Every single pane of bulletproof glass in the base was instantly shattered by the sound waves. I didn't back down. Instead, I leapt straight from the artificial island into the freezing ocean. Lin Fan, what are you doing? Chu Po Jun screamed in panic. Couldn't speak, but my actions said it all. I gathered every last ounce of energy in my body, exploding through the seawater with storm-like speed. Boom, I ripped across the ocean surface, leaving a massive white wake tens of thousands of meters long. Breaking the sound barrier, I charged like a maniac right at that 500-meter high apocalyptic tsunami. The viewers across the internet watched this absolutely insane scene, and everyone lost their minds. Holy shit, the snake god is charging. He's charging straight into the tsunami. What kind of god-tier plot is this? The great general is actually fighting an apocalyptic monster head-on. The black dragon never retreats. Kyushu will never fall. Charge, great general. A few minutes later, right in the dead center of the ocean, the 500-meter high black tsunami loomed over me, like the entire sky was collapsing. And right at the crest of the tsunami, that 600-meter long abyssal bone dragon was using its ghost fire-burning eyes to coldly glare down at me. Staring up at it, my 100-meter long body felt like an absolute toy. A mere ant dares to block my path? This tier 9 monster, it can actually use telepathy to mock me right in my head. Ant my ass, I'm your damn granddaddy. I cursed in my head, but my speed didn't drop a single bit. System, take all 50 million reputation points I've saved up this past year and blow it all on the damn lottery. Anything to kill this bastard. I'm betting everything I've got. Ding, host detected in a life or death crisis. Activating, last stand ultimate lottery. Rolling frantically. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the passive divine skill, Death Reversal. The moment you take fatal damage, you will recover 100% of your stats and erupt with 10 times your combat power. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the ultimate bloodline awakening, the cosmic chaos heaven devouring dragon bloodline. Able to devour all things in the universe. Congratulations, host, you have obtained the active ultimate kill skill, Chaos, Ultimate Annihilation Strangle, unleashing a devastating strike that shatters the limits of your current realm. All divine skills have been credited. I lost my freaking mind. Let's go. I slammed headfirst right into that 500-meter high tsunami. Boom. The bone dragon unhinged its massive skeletal jaw and blasted me with a beam of nether death light. An agonizing pain instantly ripped my body apart. My health points plummeted like crazy, hitting absolute zero. But I have Death Reversal. With this divine skill, at the exact moment of death, my stats instantly shot back to 100%, and my power exploded by 10 times. Roar. I let out a true, earth-shattering dragon's roar. My massive body slammed into its neck bones like a bolt of black lightning. So what if you're tier 9? Down here in the water, I, Linfan, am your freaking daddy. I opened my massive jaws and clamped down viciously onto its giant spine. Chaos. Ultimate Annihilation Strangle. At that moment, every satellite feed in the world went completely white. The power inside me pushed to the absolute limit. It was like a 10 megaton nuclear bomb had been dropped straight into the ocean. I dragged that terrifying, 600-meter long bone dragon down, launching into a supersonic death roll deep underwater. The friction instantly boiled the water. Massive sections of the sea vaporized into blinding white steam. The kinetic energy from our struggle actually triggered underwater volcanoes to erupt. The abyssal bone dragon let out an agonizing, desperate psychic screech. It tried to swat me with its skeletal wings, but it was too late. Under the ultimate stranglehold with a 10 times power boost, even a tier 9 mythical creature couldn't survive this pure, brutal physical crushing. Crack, boom, accompanied by a sickening crunch that shook the entire ocean. That arrogant, 600-meter long, tier 9 abyssal bone dragon was actually caught by my 100-meter massive frame. And brutally, forcefully, crushed into a cloud of shattered bones. I was drenched in blood, my scales shattered and weak to the absolute core. But my jaws were still locked tight onto its tier 9 death core, pulsing with boundless energy. With the crystal core in my mouth, I immediately triggered Void Devour, and swallowed it in one gulp. Ding! Successfully devoured the peak tier 9 crystal core. Host's physique has undergone a hyper-dimensional leap. Congratulations, host, Ultimate Bloodline Awakening. You have officially evolved into a cosmic tier life form, the cosmic chaos heaven devouring dragon. Rumble. The sky changed color. Under the shocked gazes of billions of people worldwide, I embraced my ultimate evolution. My size grew from 100 meters, instantly exploding to a terrifying 1,000 meters. The scales on my back transformed into chaotic dragon scales, capable of absorbing cosmic radiation. 5 claws sprouted from my belly, and dark gold dragon horns, the symbol of a cosmic king, grew from my head. Even my mere breath could cause the surrounding space to twist and warp. I slowly rose from the ocean. My 1,000-meter tall, god-like demonic body, bathed in the sunlight, looked just like a true god descending upon the world. I let out a dragon roar that shook the galaxy. The sound was broadcast via satellites to every corner of the globe. We won. Our guardian deity tore apart the tier 9 bone dragon. The guardian black dragon is invincible, whether it was the supreme commander of the JoJo nation, or the foreign leaders across the ocean. At this moment, everyone stood up, facing that god-like figure on their screens. They saluted wildly. Xuan, standing in front of the TV, held up his Iron Man toy and cheered until his voice went hoarse. Chu Wanchu even collapsed to the ground, crying and laughing at the same time. After that battle, all the mutated creatures on the blue planet felt my terrifying cosmic level aura. Not a single one dared to step half a foot out of the deep sea again. Humanity finally embraced total peace. And as for me, I got my very own base in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. A globally funded, ultra-platinum sea fortress. Every day, I feasted on the absolute top-tier ingredients offered as tribute by the whole world. Sigh, invincibility is just so lonely. Another year went by. I was lying bored out of my mind on my fortress. picking my teeth with a steel rebar that was dozens of meters long, feeling like life had lost its spark again. Just as I was yawning, getting ready to take an afternoon nap, the system, which had been silent in my mind for a long time, suddenly let out an extremely crisp notification chime. Ding! Detected an anomaly at the edge of the solar system. A spatial folding anomaly has appeared near Pluto's orbit. A cosmic wormhole rift has opened. Warning, an alien fleet of Tier 10 and above is approaching the blue planet. They are attempting an interstellar colonial hunt. Please be prepared, host. I froze for a second. Then, my massive slit pupils violently contracted. A deeply cruel yet thrilled grin spread across my face. My colossal body slowly stood up. My 1,000-meter-long chaotic dragon body explosively unfurled between heaven and earth, blotting out the sun. I raised my head, my gaze seemingly pierced straight through the atmosphere, looking out into the endless, profound depths of the cosmos. An alien fleet? Cosmic creatures at Tier 10 and above? I flicked out my massive, forked dragon tongue, and let out a maniacal laugh that shook the galaxy. I wonder if this outer space seafood tastes like cumin when roasted? Looks like my laid-back retirement life as Lin Fan will have to be put on hold again. Our real journey begins right now.